of the No Regrets series. This is week 1 of 5. So last week we buckled up a little bit, getting ready for this. You really need to buckle in now. Next week you might want to bring a crash helmet with you, because it's going to be intense, all right? But it's going to be something that I hope as a youth pastor, we hope as youth leaders, as parents, that we're going to be equipping you, young ladies, and you, young men, in conversations about a Christ-centered view of how God's made us as not just physical people, but as a whole person, mind, body, spirit, emotions, socially. And what His intent is for us to live pure in all those areas, but particularly sexually, and what abstinence means. So, if you're a guest today and you're going, look, man, I'm just visiting, I didn't know, you just pretend like everything is normal this week, and then if you're like, I'm out, I'll just tell you right now, there will be easier places for you to go over the next few weeks, but we're going to dig in. We're not going to make you do or talk about anything that you don't want to do. What we're going to do is equip you with God's heart from Scripture and from life and living as disciples of Jesus, of how we can navigate, how we can live in a world that is so permeated, just overflowing with conversations and images and pressures around sexuality. How do you live pure as a young lady? How do you live pure as a young man? No regrets. How do you live with no regrets? So my friend Jana Wolf is here, and she teaches in the public school system. Jana, come on up. Come on up before I get into this next part here. And she's going to be our facilitator. I'm going to have you be on this side, Jana, and I'm going to be on this side with my chair, okay? So you come on over here. We're going to be recording this, and this is going to be, the stuff that Jana's going to be sharing with us is going to be going up on Facebook by midnight on Monday nights. So if you want to review some stuff, your parents like, what are they talking about? Be like, get on the youth group Facebook. I don't want to talk about it right now, Mom and Dad. Or you just give them the classic answer, I don't know. I'm just there. I don't know what they're talking about. We say, right? What'd you guys do? What'd you guys talk about? Oh, no. Right? Jesus. Okay. So Janet's here, and she's going to get into introduction and everything in a second. Here's 3 tough topics that I want to just put in front of us. All right? You might want to loosen up a little bit right now. You might want to just shake your head and loosen up your shoulders. Because as we begin this series, I'm going to read this because I ad-libbed a little bit too much. But this series is specifically about God's desire for young men and women, you, and us as adults, choosing abstinence from sexual activity. Abstinence means not doing it. Not having sexual activity of any degree until you are in a healthy, committed, lifelong marriage between a man and a woman. That's what we're going to be talking about starting today. Sex, and I want you to hear this next part, is very, very good. Yes, I said that. Inside the boundaries God has made for us, but destructive otherwise. Let me repeat. Sex is very, very good. I capitalized it and bolded it. Here are 3 topics of sexuality to talk with your parents about, preferably, if you can. There's willingness between you and them. And some of you are already going, yeah, nah, ain't doing it. Okay? But we should. And if you can't, there's people around you. Or you can talk to Jana about, you might be like, hey, Katie, she's not from here. She's safe. I can talk to her. Ladies, go-to person right here. Or guys, youth pastor, Kenny, go-to person right here. There's other adults too. We just don't want to put them on the spot. But if there's somebody else that you're like, I know they love Jesus and I can talk to them about this, I can trust them, then do it. All right? But here are 3 topics. And we're available to talk and journey with you. But, this is important, but we ask you don't bring them up in the large group or in our pods when we break off in pods. And you'll see for obvious reasons in a second. The first one, abuse. Specifically, sexual abuse. If you have been or are being abused sexually, you have not had a choice. This has been forced on you, and it's not your fault. You have been deeply wronged, and that may still be ongoing. Hear this. God loves you. We're here to help you, and there is hope in Jesus. Talk with us. It is harder to get out of something like that sometimes than to keep letting it happen. But we're willing to walk with you. All right? Believe me. We have before, and we will. The next one. So the first one was sexual abuse. That's going on. Talk to us privately. The next one. Homosexuality. If we didn't bring this up, someone would bring it up anyway, and that's all right. But let's just address it here. As Christ followers, we believe God has made us in His image. Who we are is first defined by relationship with God. God created us male and female in His image. Male, female. In His image. That's kind of cool how God made that. Our gender, male and female, and sexuality are not our first identity. I'm going to read that one more time. Our gender, male and female, and sexuality are not our first identity. Being made in the image of God is our primary identity. If you would like to discuss homosexuality, we are available to do that. Please do so privately. You can see how, with the conversation we're having about abstinence, how this could be distracting from the main points of what we're trying to equip and convey here. And the last one. Do you have your seatbelt on? Is your imaginary crash helmet in place? So the last one. I'm gonna do these. They'll just be shorter each week, just in case there's new folks or we need reminded and so we get used to it. Masturbation. I just said that at church. Yeah. Dare you to repeat that to your parents. But it's okay if you do. Masturbation is defined as sexual self-pleasuring. As Christ followers, we are not our own. We are bought with a price, and that price was Jesus' life, and are invited to honor God with our bodies. Self-centered sexual practices miss the joy God created us to experience. Now, this next line here refers to all of this, okay? Any habit, practice, secret, or activity that is more important to us than our relationship with God is destructive and Lord of our life in place of Jesus. One more time. Any habit, practice, secret, or activity that is more important to us than our relationship with God is destructive and Lord of our life in place of Jesus. And that applies not just to the three things I read. That can apply to a lot of stuff. Who knows how God's going to talk to us during this series? Confession and forgiveness, accountability, and change of activity, biblically known as the word repentance. Changing direction from where you were going and turning towards God. Change of activity are Christ-centered ways to renew behavior of mind, body, spirit, emotions, and relationships. Purity is about all of who we are created to be and not just part of us. It's so quiet in here. It's like we're on sacred ground. Again, sex is very, very good. Capital letters, bolded. Next week I'm going to underline it. Inside the boundaries God has made for us, but destructive otherwise. My knees are a little bit weak right now. I don't know why. That just took a lot out of me. Please stand, everybody, as we read our series scripture aloud together. It's on the screens. 1 Corinthians 6, 12 through 20. And if you can't read, just don't say anything and mouth the words watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. And it'll work, okay? But if you can't read it with us. Let's go. Everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. Food for the stomach and the stomach for food, but God will destroy them both. The body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. By His power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and He will raise us also. Therefore, honor God with your body. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ himself? Shall I then take the members of Christ and unite them with a prostitute? Never. Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the two will become one flesh. But he who unites himself with the Lord is one with him in spirit. Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body. But he who sins sexually sins against his own body. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you've received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. We got one more. Therefore, honor God with your body. Verse 20. There we go. Jana, you may be seated. It's all yours.
All right. This on?
Yeah. You're on. You're on.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, good. I feel like you guys are really scared now after all that. Yeah. You scared him. All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, good. My name is Gianna Wolf, and I want you to know I'm really excited about being here with you guys. For the next 5 weeks, I will be here. I grew up going to Boise First. So this is like my home church, so I'm excited to be back. I run a program called No Regrets, and we go into the Nampa schools and talk to students about making good choices in relationships. Anyone here in a Nampa school? Nampa? Sweet. What school are you at? Have I ever had you?
In the class?
In a class? Are you? What school? Oh. I don't think I've been at Columbia in a couple of years, so. All right, good. But we go into the health classroom in Nampa. We talk to students. I spend a week with students in every classroom and talk to them about making good choices in relationship. Specifically, the choice of abstinence. Now, just like Kenny said, abstinence means saving sexual activity for a faithful, committed marriage. All right? Now, I want to hit upon that for a second, because what we're doing is we're recognizing that a goal in our life, or a thing we want in our life, is a marriage. And we're not just talking about any marriage. We're talking about a faithful, committed, healthy marriage. And that's a goal in our life. I want you guys to understand that as 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders, high school students, you guys are already preparing for that marriage. And I know it sounds weird because you guys are like, I have so much going on in my world right now. Like, I'm just trying to get through school, and I've got sports and activities and all that. But you are preparing for your marriage already in who you are as a person, in the relationships you have. Okay? And those will be carried on into what you're doing now, will be carried on into your future. So we're recognizing that we have a goal of being in a healthy, faithful, committed marriage someday. And we're looking forward to that. Okay? And like Kenny said, we're talking about what is God's plan for our relationships and for sexual activity. And we're recognizing that He has provided sexual activity as an amazing gift for you to experience when you're in that faithful, committed marriage relationship. But if it's outside that faithful, committed marriage relationship, there could be some major consequences that come along with it. And we'll discuss those today a little bit. But I also want you to know, when we talk about saving sexual activity, we use the word save because I want you guys to know sexual activity is very valuable. And we live in a world right now where you guys are hearing from people and you're seeing in media that sexual activity maybe is just a thing, it's no big deal, it's normal in a relationship, and that's a huge danger in this world we're living in. Because what we're doing is we're devaluing what sexual activity is. We're not placing the value on it that God wants us to place on it. And so I want you guys to recognize the value in sexual activity. It's not just a thing. It's more than just a thing. Okay? And I know we have a wide age group in here, and so we're all maybe in different places. And I know sometimes middle school students, when I talk to 7th and 8th graders, they're kind of like, I'm not even dating anybody. So this idea of sexual activity, that's not even like a part of my world right now. So why are we discussing this? Well, I want you to know as a middle school student, you guys are the best place to start thinking about this because you can start preparing yourself for those future relationships and really grasp what this means in your future. And those of you who are in high school, I know, I go in high schools all the time. You are surrounded by people are dating, they're in relationships, they're hooking up, they're doing whatever. You guys are surrounded by this. I know you are. And I want you to know, in high school, this is your time to really own this for yourself. This is your time to really say, you know, this is a choice I want for myself. Because probably your parents want you to make this choice of abstinence, and I know Kenny wants you to make this choice, and your youth leaders want you to make this choice. But as a high school student, you guys have the ability to say, I want to make this choice. I'm not doing it just because my parents want me to, but I want to because I understand the benefits and the choice of abstinence. So that's where you can be as high school students, really owning this decision. Also, I want to say really quickly that the choice of abstinence is a choice, and all of you at some point in your life will have this opportunity to make this choice. You're going to be at places in your life, whether it be in high school or college, later on in life, where you will have to make tough decisions in your relationships. And I want you to know it's a choice. And you have the ability to make that choice. But I want you prepared to know how to make that choice. And if you're in a place where you already have been sexually active, or you know someone who has been sexually active, I want you to know that you can come back and say, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, I want to choose abstinence from this point on. I understand now the benefits of this choice. So don't feel like this doesn't apply to you, because it applies to everybody, no matter where you are in your world. Okay? Good. Okay, so we're going to discuss the whole person. Like Kenny was saying, we are a whole person, and understanding as a whole person, why is God asking us to be sexually pure? Like, why is this so important in our life as a whole person? Okay, so as a whole person, we are not just a physical being. We have our physical self, we have our emotional self, we have our intellectual self, and we have our spiritual self. We have those up there. Okay, we are a whole person. Now, I want you guys to know, as a whole person, this is who you are. Everything you do is affected by these things. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if on Tuesday morning you woke up and you're so tired? You guys have to wake up so early for school, right? You're so tired. And you're thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to send my intellect, my mind, to school today, but I'm going to leave my physical body in bed. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, I know. But you can't do that, can you? Because it all goes together, right? And so this is understanding we are one person, a whole person, everything together, and everything we do, okay, we're affected. All these things. So, we're going to discuss as a group how these things are affected. If we make the choice to be sexually active before that faithful, committed marriage relationship, how are these things going to be affected? So, I'm going to need your help here. We good? Okay. Now, let's talk about just our physical being here. Just our physical self. That's all we're talking about. If someone as a teenager makes the choice to be sexually active, how is their physical body going to be affected? How could it be affected? What are some consequences? Yell it out. There you go. STD.
Pregnancy.
And pregnancy. Could you get pregnant? No. You can't? Oh, okay. You're right. Good job. Good answer, good answer. No, okay, good. So our physical body can be affected by a sexually transmitted disease. So these are diseases that people get by being sexually active. They're diseases that are transmitted through sexual activity. And I want you to know there's a lot of people in this world who have STDs. 20 million new cases of STDs every single year. Okay? And 10 million of those are in 15 to 24-year-olds. So some of your ages here. So we can't think that, no one's going to get an STD, that's not going to affect us, that's not going to be part of our world, because it is a part of a lot of people's world. So sexually transmitted disease can affect your physical body. Now, pregnancy. Guys, you can't get pregnant. Sweet, right?
Maybe
But girls are like, what? But guys, you're physically contributing to a pregnancy. pregnancy, okay? And yes, a pregnancy would affect the physical body of a female, definitely. So that's just our physical body. Now, this is the thing a lot of times in your world, students. Most of the time, we think, well, I don't want to have sex before I'm married because I don't want to have a baby when I'm a teenager, and I don't want an STD for sure. So that's going to be good enough for keeping me out of sex because I don't want to be able to do any of those things. Okay, and those things could happen, but there's a lot of people, a lot of teenagers in fact, that have sex and they don't ever get pregnant or have an STD. Okay, you guys know this, right? Right. So what are some other things that we can be affected by? So let's move on to emotional. How can your emotional self be affected if you make the choice to be sexually active before that faithful, committed marriage relationship? Your feelings, who you are emotionally. What? Depression. Okay? Why would we get depressed? It was like, what? This is a good thing, right? Sex is good, right? But remember, like Kenny said, if we take it outside of that marriage relationship, it causes emotions and feelings, you know, and it can get us in this roller coaster of, I'm not feeling so good about myself anymore. What's another one?
Regrets. I would regret it so much.
Regret. Good. The majority of teenagers who make the choice to be sexually active in their relationships say that they regret that choice. They regret it. They wish they could go back. They wish they wouldn't have. What's another emotion? Trust issues. Very good. A huge part of a marriage relationship is trust, right? And a huge part of any relationship is trust. And when we make the choice to be sexually active, sometimes that trust, we lose that because we're not really sure about this person anymore. We don't know what this relationship holds for the future. What else emotionally? Come on, guys. I need some guys' emotions. I know you guys have emotions. You cry sometimes. No, the guys are like, no. What? Stress. Insecurities. Good. Wait, what would you be stressed about?
If you do have a baby, you have a lot of these things put on your plate.
Okay, good. Stress of an unplanned pregnancy and STD. Also, though, stress of, what if my parents find out? Right? There's this constant feeling of, what if my parents find out? What if his or her parents find out? Stress of, like, what's my future going to be like? Good. Insecurity. That's a good one. You're starting to feel insecure about yourself, maybe. Yeah, you're kind of losing a little bit of yourself, right? Because you're in this relationship and you're bonding with this person. Good, good. Okay, next one. Might be a little more difficult, but I think you guys can do it. Your intellect is your brain, your mind, how you think. How can your intellectual self be affected if you make the choice to be sexually active? Or can it? Does it change how you think? Does it change your future intellect?
You can make habits, I guess, before
Good. We call this, when we talk about it being a habit, we call it kind of being your new normal. Okay? So it becomes your new normal. So, kind of go back to maybe if you've experienced like your first kiss. Oh, so exciting and awkward and you know, you have butterflies in your stomach and kissing was a big deal and you know, maybe the first couple of relationships that was a big deal, but then all of a sudden it's like, kissing, whatever, that's my new normal. Like I do that all the time in every relationship, right? It becomes a new normal. And that's exactly what can happen with sexual activity. It becomes a new normal and you almost expect it out of your relationships. Or it becomes a place that you go to in all your relationships. So good. It's a good one. What else intellectually? Your intellectual self. Any other thoughts? What? Distraction. Good. So, maybe school isn't as important anymore because you're so into this relationship. Maybe your sports aren't as important anymore because you have this relationship. Maybe you're losing some of your friends because you're hanging out with your boyfriend and girlfriend so much. What about your future? If you want to go to college, you want to go in the military, whatever you want to do. You know, are those things going to be affected in your future? Definitely. Okay? Last one, your spiritual self.
Shanna, can I add one?
What? Oh, wait, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, the intellectual, how you think about people, how you think about yourself as an object or as a person, you know? And I think that when people are engaging in sexual activity, just that's normal.
Yeah.
That you don't think about yourself as a person maybe anymore. And you don't think about somebody else. You just think about them as something you can get something from. How you view others changes.
Definitely. And that starts to devalue the person and what sexual activity is. The other thing I forgot to say about the intellect that a lot of people don't think about is those memories you're creating. You guys are creating memories all the time, like at school, and someday you're going to come back to a high school reunion and be like, oh, don't you remember when? That was awesome when the football team won, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Whatever it is your memories are with your friends. Okay. You also have memories of, again, take you back to maybe your first crush. You know, like in elementary school when you liked a girl or you liked a boy, and that was exciting, right? But you didn't know how to act around that person. But you kind of have a memory of your first crush, or maybe your first kiss, you have those memories. Okay, so you carry these memories with you. Now, because sexual activity is this amazing bonding experience that God has given us as a gift, right? A gift for our marriage relationship. If you make the choice to be sexually active with someone before that marriage relationship, you're creating a bond with them, right? A bond that you can't go any further in that relationship, okay? You're giving your whole self to that person, okay? So if you create that bond in high school and then you move on to get married later in life to someone else, think you're going to have memories of that high school relationship? That person you were sexually active with in high school? Yeah. I mean, is that something you want to bring into your future marriage? Is that healthy for your future marriage? So that's another intellect. Spiritually, last one. How is your spiritual self affected if you make the choice to be sexually active? Is it getting you closer to your relationship with God, or is it pushing you further away from your relationship with God? Okay. Definitely pushing you away. We all know that God has asked us to save sexual activity for our marriage. We know that. Okay, and it says in the Bible verse we just read, flee from sexual immorality. In Ephesians it says, I don't even want a hint of sexual immorality in your life. Not even a hint. All right, so we know he's asking us this. If we make the choice to be sexually active, it takes us away from that relationship. It doesn't bring us closer to God. It pushes us away. And what happens there is a lot of times, then we start pushing further away. Well, maybe it's okay to go do this then. Maybe it's okay to go to that party then. Maybe it's okay to go get drunk. Maybe it's okay to go to this. Because you kind of lose some of your values and your belief system. And you start kind of justifying a lot of different things that you know are not right. All right, so it's definitely going to push you away. Okay, so this next 5 weeks, this is going to be huge because we're going to hit upon all these topics and how your whole self is affected. Whole person is affected. Okay? And earlier we talked about this idea of eventually if you want to get married someday, you guys are going to have a future marriage possibly. And that's very exciting. But I know you guys are caught up right now in a lot of different things with school and sports and activities and all that, and it's hard to think about that marriage. It seems so far away. But again, what we're doing right now, how we're acting, who we are as a person, will affect that marriage. So, we're going to do an activity that is going to reiterate this. Now, this is going to be fun and exciting, and hopefully it'll make you laugh a little bit. But hopefully it will also help you understand a little bit more. So, we will need some volunteers. I'm going to need, now this is the exciting part, I'm going to need one girl.
She doesn't even know yet, and she's already volunteering. She doesn't even know what it is. You don't know what this is, do you? Did I tell you? I don't think I did tell her.
No, she's just right. So, because you can actually...
That's what some people call it.
And you can bring it closer if you want, but you can
You
sit
are
down
brave.
because you're going to be our lovely lady for today. Now, guys, you ready? I'm going to need 4 male volunteers.
You can't, if you volunteer somebody else, it automatically becomes you.
Oh, so
You
Kenny,
volunteer 2 people. Come on up.
Kenny's
Come
going
on.
to choose our men.
All right, he's volunteering. I like to take volunteers. You want to do this? Do it. Come on.
What are we doing?
What grade are you in?
What are we doing?
What grade? You go. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, we need 4. We got 3 right here. Okay, go on up. No, he raced, but next time. We're going to need more volunteers. Come on up, man. We got these 4 guys. Brave souls that they are. Look at them. Gentlemen, give them a round of applause ahead of time. All right? All right, ladies, support your girl over there. Support your girl.
Guys, I need you to go a little closer here so we're kind of all together. Okay, so I want to know your names first.
I'm Emily.
Emily.
Harrison.
Caleb.
Calvin.
Where's your name tag? You don't have a name tag?
Yeah, your ID's
Okay,
better.
because we all know Calvin. He doesn't need a name tag. All right.
Who are you?
So what we're gonna do is I'm going to explain. I'm gonna make up a story about all these people up here. Okay. I'm gonna change their lives today, and because I'm making up the story about them, I'm also gonna change their names. Okay, because they're playing a character today, right? Good. So everyone's gonna get a heart. Can you pass out the hearts? Okay, because we're talking about our heart, keeping our heart pure, because our heart is basically, who we are as a person, not just our physical self. We're talking about our hearts as well. All right. And then also, guys, you're also going to get an envelope. Now, I need you to know that there's strict instructions not to open this until I ask you to. Okay. So,
Just the guys?
Just the guys. Let's start one right here with Harrison.
Keep
Okay.
it secret.
Keep it secret.
So I have to keep them in order? Does it matter which
You have
order?
to keep them in order, yes.
Okay.
Right.
I've only seen this in classrooms like 3 times or
Yeah.
something. I mean,
Okay,
give
so
me a break.
guys, do
Don't
not
open it.
open it, do not peek,
Don't
do
open
not
it.
do anything with it, just hold it. This is your chance to start using self-control.
Yes. Thank you.
Discipline, right here. Okay, so, they all have a heart. Now, I'm going to change, it was Emily, right? I'm going to change your name to Penelope for today. Yes! So this is Penelope in our skit here, okay? So if you notice, Penelope has a heart, and this heart is representing who she is as a person, right? Her whole person, her heart. Now, Penelope has made the choice in high school. We're pretending like all these guys are in high school, all these people are in high school. She's made the choice in high school to, she's choosing abstinence, and she understands the value of abstinence. And so we're allowing her to keep this whole heart whole, okay? Because she wants to be able to present someday to her future spouse her whole entire heart. She doesn't want like a crumbled up heart, a ripped up heart, a heart that is like so broken and has a barrier around it. She wants her whole heart to be presented to her spouse someday, and so she understands the importance of that. Now, Penelope in high school is still going to possibly date, like she still has some relationships, but she definitely has made a point in these relationships not to go far physically, okay, and she doesn't want to get in this huge committed relationship in high school, okay, because she understands the value in abstinence. So that's Penelope's story in high school. That's who she is.
Good job, Penelope.
Woo! All right, you ready, guys? Bachelor number 1 is, don't open the card yet.
Game.
You notice you have a heart too.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got a heart. Bachelor number 1 is Romeo.
He dies at the back plate.
All right, so we have Romeo is in high school now. Sure. Who to start Romeo?
Romeo!
Our knight in shining armor, Romeo. Okay, so who does Romeo date in high school?
Juliet.
Juliet, right? So let me tell you about Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet are in this amazing relationship. They have been dating for a long time. They dated their entire junior year, and they're going into their senior year now, and they're still dating, and they are falling in love. Romeo and Juliet. You're falling in love. Okay.
Well, happiness.
And because Romeo and Juliet are falling in love, and they're in their senior in high school, they're really committed to each other. And so they feel like, this whole idea of abstinence doesn't really apply to us because we're gonna get married someday, right? Romeo and Juliet are the perfect couple. And they're so in love, and they're so committed to each other, they're gonna get married someday. So why do they need to save sex for marriage? Because they're gonna be married someday anyway, so they might as well have sex now. Right, Romeo?
Right.
Right. So Romeo and Juliet, a part of their relationship is they're sexually active in their relationship, okay? Now, remember, they're seniors in high school. One day, Juliet finds out that she's pregnant.
Someone bring in Jerry Springer.
So, but remember, Romeo and Juliet are in love, and they have such a great relationship. So, does it matter if they're pregnant? Because they're going to be together forever anyway, right? Right. But this is the thing. Remember, they're seniors in high school, so now all of a sudden their whole world is turned upside down. And Juliet ends up dropping out of high school because she's having this responsibility of a child. Remember, they have to go through the experience of telling their parents, telling their grandparents about it, all this exciting things that they get to do. Romeo, though, he's a senior in high school, and he's thinking, I just want to be like a senior in high school. Like, I don't want all this responsibility, right? I just want to be a guy in high school. So it definitely creates some distance in their relationship because he's feeling like he doesn't want the responsibility of being a dad all of a sudden. He doesn't even have a job. And all of a sudden, remember this, that they were in love, but he's like, ew, really? I guess I don't know for sure if I wanted to marry Juliet. We were just, kind of in love. So it causes a lot of complications, and Romeo and Juliet, let me see your heart, decide that they aren't really in love, and they end up breaking up.
He has half a heart.
Okay,
She took a good chunk. He has a heart problem.
bachelor number 2. You ready? Bachelor number 2?
Sloan.
You are James Bond.
Oh, he is dressed for it too. Wow, typecasting.
Okay,
Perfect
so
man for the part.
who does James Bond date?
Everyone.
Everybody. James Bond is the player. You guys might know these people in your school or in high school, but they just like dating people. Like, they're not in relationships. James Bond doesn't want a girlfriend. He just wants to date a lot of people, and he likes to hook up with all these girls too. So James Bond has made the choice to be sexually active with a lot of different girls, and it really doesn't have any meaning to him. He's just, loving the ladies because they're all hot. That's my heart.
LL Cool J, it really stands for Ladies Love Cool James, so same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So here's James Bond's heart.
Broken into a million pieces.
Not much there. You don't have any value in what a heart is or what that means. Yeah, I know. Okay, bachelor number 3 is Batman.
Yeah!
He thinks it's cool
So
right now.
jealous.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
so jealous.
Okay, so
So jealous.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
all right, so Batman, let me tell you your story. Batman's a good guy. He's the guy in high school that everybody likes, everybody knows. He's very active at high school, and he's a really respectable, nice guy. Now, the thing with Batman, though, is he's never really made the choice if he wants to be sexually active or not. This idea of abstinence, he's kind of like, I'll just kind of wait, until I'm in a relationship and see what happens. He's just all about, let's just see what happens. He's never really been in a committed relationship quite yet, so he feels like abstinence doesn't apply to him because he's never had any, issues with all that. So, the thing with Batman, though, is there's a new girl at school, and her name is Catwoman. And she's really hot.
Stay away.
And Catwoman is starting to flirt with Batman a lot. And so Batman is becoming very attracted to Catwoman. And Batman and Catwoman are starting to hang out a lot. And they develop this relationship, definitely. And Batman is falling for Catwoman. She's this amazing woman, and she is, like, gorgeous. And she's very flirtatious. So basically, she's physically, like, all over him all the time. And he's feeling tempted and pressured in this relationship. Okay, and remember, he's never really committed to abstinence because he doesn't feel like maybe, he'll just wait and see what happens. So now that Catwoman is all over him all the time and he's really liking Catwoman, they decide to have sex.
Nice.
Now, Batman is falling for Batman is falling for Catwoman, but she's a very flirtatious girl. And so the thing is Batman goes away like on, to McCall with his family for the weekend, and his buds call him up on Saturday or Sunday, and they're like, dude, your girlfriend, she was at this party this weekend, and she was flirting with all the guys. And I'm pretty sure that she left with some other guy. You might want to talk to her about this. So he calls up Catwoman, and she admits to cheating on him. Oh. So Batman and Catwoman break up. But this also creates Batman to feel like all women are going to cheat on him. All women are going to be like this. He can't trust any girl anymore.
Well, why is mine so small?
Because you're James Bond.
Because you're a player.
All right. Last one. You ready? Dun, 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 Superman.
Yeah,
Or Superman. So, bachelor number 4 is Superman. The exciting thing about Superman is that he is, again, a very nice guy, very respectable, very active at school. Everybody knows him. Okay? But the thing with Superman is he decided at a young age that he wanted to keep his whole entire heart for his wife. Okay, he knows the value in abstinence, and he has made the choice of abstinence. Now, the thing with Superman is, again, it doesn't mean he's not dating or he's not in relationships. He just sees the value in sexual activity. He has decided to save sexual activity for his marriage. So he's very strong in those values. All right.
Way to go, Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So, now, imagine with me that all these people are now, like, grown up. They're, like, in college, let's say. College age, okay? They're grown up, yes. So, remember, we talked about who they were in high school. Now we're going to fast forward, okay, and see how these choices they made in high school could affect their future. Now, back to Penelope. Remember, she has her whole heart here. Now, Penelope starts dating Romeo. Okay? And Penelope and Romeo have a really, really good relationship, and they're starting to fall in love. Very exciting, huh? And so because they're starting to fall in love and they're at the age where they feel like they're ready to settle down, maybe get married, because Penelope's looking to get married and have a family. Okay, they start discussing this idea of what, getting married and all that, okay? So, Romeo, you ready?
Yeah.
You will now be able to open up your card, and you are going to read something to Penelope. I want you to read the card to Penelope, okay, as your girlfriend, who you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Me?
There you
The
go.
whole thing.
Read the whole thing to her. Here.
Nice and loud.
I am currently paying child support for the baby I had in high school. I only have 15 years left to pay. We may have to wait on some things. Will you marry me?
Do I say no? No.
She didn't even think about it, did she? She's like, no. No. Romeo, you're out of here.
Hit the road, Jack.
See you, Romeo. Good job. Thanks for volunteering, man.
Poor Romeo. Now remember, Romeo only had half his year to present his future, right? So. Okay, moving on. Remember James Bond's story? Remember he was a player. Now let me say something about James Bond. He's like matured a little bit, and he understands now that, he didn't treat women very nicely when he was in high school, and he now understands how to respect women, and he's changed his ways, and he's a good guy now. Okay? And again, Penelope starts dating James Bond, and they start falling in love, and they're talking about getting married, and so James Bond, go ahead and read your card to Penelope.
I have a sexually transmitted disease. I'm currently taking medication, and there is only a slight chance that you will catch it. Will you marry me?
James.
What do you think, Penelope? What do you think?
No thanks.
No, she's so nice about it. Okay.
See you, 00.
It's only a slight chance you'll get it.
Only a slight chance, right?
Oh, good.
All right, bachelor number 3, remember Batman, he dated Catwoman, and then she messed, she cheated on him, and it was horrible. Now, Penelope and Batman start dating, and they're falling in love, and they're talking about getting married, and this is a good guy. Remember, he's a good guy. So, Batman, read your card.
Due to past relationships, I have a hard time trusting and believing in a woman. And woman, would you marry me?
No.
That's very contradicting.
You
That's
think
very,
trust is a big issue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that's
All
very
right.
contradicting.
Batman, you're out of here.
Darn.
His heart is broken again. Superman to the rescue. Now remember, Superman has made choices in high school. He was a good guy, respectful guy. He still dated. He still had a good time. But he drew the line and said, I'm not going to be sexually active before I'm married. So he was able to keep his whole heart. So Penelope and Superman start dating, and they're falling in love. And what do you got, Superman?
I knew that someday I would meet a woman that would want to marry. Because of that, I have saved myself both physically and emotionally. I believe that woman is you. Would you marry me?
Wow.
That was very long.
No.
I got tongue-tied.
Say no.
Say yes.
It happens.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you, volunteers. And guys, if you'd like, I can get you a copy of that proposal for your future. Okay, good. Do you want to do pods or no? All right. So hopefully that put you at ease a little bit, because the rest of the 5 weeks we are going to do a lot of fun activities such as that, but also it makes the point of what you guys are doing right now in your relationships, how you're acting in your relationships, the choices you're making in your relationships will affect your future marriage. I want you guys to start thinking about your spouse and start loving them right now. Like, you don't even know who they are, but I want you to start loving them, okay? And how you're
praying
acting.
for them.
And praying for
I already prayed for my kid's spouse. I already do. Whoever they're going to marry, whoever that's going to be. We can do that, right? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. You guys, it is so important. You can't control what your spouse is doing right now, but by praying for them, definitely, you know, that will help out. But also, you have to understand you will be someone else's spouse, right? So there's someone out there right now in the world thinking about you. I know that's weird. You're like, that's kind of creepy. Someone's thinking about me. That's kind of creepy, right? But no, they're thinking about you, and start acting like you love them. Start treating them with respect before you even know them. Definitely.
I'm gonna offer a word of prayer in our time here, and then we're gonna stay right here in this room, ladies on this side, gentlemen on this side, and we're gonna pot up into our little small group discussions. This is a time for you to ask some questions there. The pod leaders have some questions to be prayed for, to meet other people your age. We'll have middle school pods, senior high pods, for those of you that are visiting with us or are new to us. So let me offer this word of prayer. And then pod leaders, listen, this is big stuff for all of us. And it's good. It's really good. Very, very good. So if we need to go just a couple minutes over for our pod times, we're going to try to stay inside of it. But that's all right. Just make sure you take the time, and if we need, we'll stick around. If we need to talk a bit more afterwards, here we are. We're available. Let's pray.